Good morning, good morning. It's your morning carbo load of real estate.
Oh, I like that.
Ta-da!
Minor key, perhaps?
I
Good
don't
morning.
know. I have no formal training, clearly.
Good morning, Jennifer. I
Mm.
love your mug,
This is Max's mug,
your
and
Elmo mug.
he loves it. And it says, Elmo loves mornings.
That's perfect. Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Wickman.
And I'm Jennifer Cotis. Together we are the Wickman Real Estate Group at eXp Realty
In Minneapolis.
Minnesota.
Well, there we go. We'll just finish each other's sentences.
Okay. Today is trains in Minnesota.
All about trains.
There is an overwhelming amount of train stuff in Minnesota. And I'm not just talking about those train enthusiasts, Big Bang watching, Sheldon loving train people. This
Okay,
is
remember
just
I told
more.
remember I told you I had a fun fact about trains? So
Yes.
you know what those people are called?
What?
It's kind of weird. Foamers. Because
FOMO?
foamers, Foamers, because they're like foaming at the mouth over trains. They just love them so much. My husband works for the railroad at Burlington Northern, and there are people and he's in the train yard over just south of 694 and East River Road. And there are people literally who just stand over that bridge and just watch the train yard. And that's what they're so politely called.
Homers. Okay, no, that's like an inside joke, right? For the people that work. They like call them like foamers. There's gotta be like
Well,
okay.
I don't think that one would call themselves that.
Right. Oh God. I'm a certified foamer.
But that's what they're so lovingly called.
So, okay, you guys, for those of you watching out there, please in the comment box, if you can Google quickly, because I got way too many tabs up right now. If you could look up the real name of people that are obsessed with trains, I just figured they'd be called like they'd call themselves like conductor or conductories or something like that, you know? A train enthusiast.
I think that's a better word, but that's just something I happen to know.
Okay, let's start with you first.
I was going to say let's start with you because you want to talk a little bit about history.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I am like so overwhelmed with history. Let's start off with okay, number one, it's Black History Month, you guys, right? So we also
Right.
have some exciting news. Okay. Hold on, I really do have like 10 pages up right now. Oh, here we go. Here's the one. Of course, it's right at the bottom. You guys, the Biden administration is speeding up the Harriet Tubman $20 bill for the Underground Railroad. Isn't that exciting?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay, so MSR I was on, which is the Minnesota Spokesman Recorder, is predominantly African American history here in Minnesota. And I love this site. It's really great, especially if you want to know what's going on as far as like you can guys, I'll click this. I won't click this link now, but if you want to look up 2021 Black History Month events, there's a great place to put it. But I'm going to share this, you guys, into the comments so you can take a look at it, okay? And then, oh, did I not share it? It says browser can't access your screen, trying to capture a different screen to see if this continues. Oh, you guys, that's sad. Maybe I got too many screens up and it's like, no, Jen, close some up. Okay, so I'm putting that into the comments, okay, you guys, and then I'll be able to close it down. Okay, the other site that I was on is or same site with information is that there once upon a time, you remember the old black and white films that were taking place, all over America in cars. Everybody's seen like, or train cars, right?
Yeah.
Can you guys see this one?
No,
Oh, it's saying it again. I'm so
I
sorry,
think
guys.
we're not going to be able to share screens. So that's okay.
It's all right. Okay. So, hidden history, Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters. So, there was this company that decided to build luxury sleeping cars. Now, they didn't actually own the railroads, right? They didn't own the trains. They just built cars and sold them. It was a company, I do believe, out of Chicago. And then what had happened was, they needed people to be able to become porters essentially and work them, bring
Right.
them food and drink and extra pillows and things like that. So they were predominantly African American. And the very first sleeping car porters or union was here in Minnesota
There was
and
a
St.
union?
Paul. Yeah. And
Interesting.
it was actually in there's some beautiful pictures. Okay, so Pullman, Chicago, a Pullman porter from Pullman, Chicago. And they have these beautiful pictures of these gorgeous men in suits and hats and stuff. And they also had maids. And by World War I, it had 12,000 porters that were employed by Pullman. And they were nicknamed the Palace on Wheels, which I'm sure that you remember seeing in those films with, like I think of that Marilyn Monroe and the two guys that were in Grumpy Old Men.
For some reason, Walter Matthau and I can't think of the other one.
Jack something. Anyway, it was called Some Like It Hot. I always think of that because they had a lot of trains in that movie. Not that I've seen a lot more, but that's always the first one in my brain. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this one in the comments. And now, so the Union Station, where a lot of those trains came in and a lot of those porters worked is in St. Paul, and it actually reopened not too long ago, and you can host events there like weddings and things like that. And it's
a beautiful building.
Beautiful. So I will also put a link to that in there. Okay, so now what it is today is Weekend Wednesday. So we always talk about things that we can do on the weekend. So speaking of trains, I'm hoping maybe I whittled away my share screen time up. It's Chrome tab.
Jen's having technical difficulties.
I know. I really want okay, there's two things. There's night trains, which is a train modelers. Oh, I don't think you guys can see.
It's a railroad museum
For model trains, and they're all lit up at night, and it's something fun. I've brought Max there before. They're not going to allow as many people through. You have to buy a ticket. It's kind of like tucked away in an industrial area. There is some off-street parking, and it's a really great like little place to go and take kids. But then if you're an adult and you want to get away for a weekend, there is there's a man that bought the monorail trains from the Minnesota Zoo and has turned them into like little cabins in Pepin County, Wisconsin, which, on Lake Pepin, just south of here. It's actually not too far. And Lake Pepin is where water skiing was invented, you guys, just in case you needed to know more history. um, but their friends have built like a human tunnel, hamster wheel, things like that. So this is like the perfect like little place for these like train cabins to be.
So they just sitting on the railroad tracks, abandoned railroad tracks?
They're not on railroad tracks. They're like
Oh,
they were put on this person's property and turned into cabins. It's this guy from Alaska, and now he actually says, which I think is really funny. He is quoted for saying that he actually has a documentary and a blog that he started in the early 2000s called Save It for Parts. And he says it's a combination of art and hoarding, a little bit of redneck engineering. And I just imagine him as one of those old men that's going to have like, the 100-acre property that has, like cars and tractors and who knows what on it, right?
interesting. I didn't know about that.
I know. I
Lake
told you
Pepin is a nice area to go
I
explore.
opened up this can of trains and I had no idea how much was in it. You guys, there's also tons of political information about trains in Minnesota because we have up in the I can't I up in the
It's okay.
northwestern corner there is like agriculture, sugar beets and corn and soybeans being grown. That's also where they make like Arctic Cat snowmobiles. And then in this corner here is mining country, which
Oh,
is huge because there is some huge political debates because right now if they don't open those mines, those cities and those workers are going to be out of job. They have declining population, storefronts closing, they're in survival mode. But at the same time, if they open up those mines again, they're going to lose drinking water and they're going to have pollution. And,
it's very controversial.
it is. And all of the trains like come down and interconnect into the Twin Cities, lacing this beautiful fabric of Minnesota together. I love it. So I have other articles about all that information for you guys as well. And then adios, Choo Choo Bob. I have one more. Choo Choo Bob
Choo Choo Bob.
it was in St. Paul and it was like a train museum information center. He's got videos and I didn't bring them upstairs. But I have videos. They're all about trains and they're adorable for little kids. And I got them as a hand-me-down from my wonderful friend Teresa, who her son watched them, and now Max watches them. And they closed because they didn't get enough PPP or paycheck protection plan. They only got enough money to cover a quarter of their monthly mortgage.
Oh, that doesn't cover anything.
No.
So where was this?
St. Paul.
In St. Paul.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was sad. But on a lighter note, it's your turn.
It's my turn. Okay. So you can't share your screen, I'm assuming. But I was going to talk about exploring Minnesota by train because there's a lot of different things that you can do. So first, I wanted just to talk about where the scenic trains go in Minnesota. I'm looking at my screen. And it basically, you can go from the south to the north. And I'm going to talk. And one of the things that you can do when you hop on these trains is they have bike racks. So in this article that I have, it's riding the Amtrak to these Minnesota cities and towns. And then in the article, they have blurbs about what you can do in these different towns. So I'm just going to run through them.
I'm trying something different. I'm trying to see if I can share my screen now. Okay, which one? About the
adventure and comfort when you explore Minnesota by train.
Tour the Twin Cities on the Green Line?
No, that's not
adventure and comfort when you explore Minnesota by train.
That would be the one. There we go. Okay. You can see it.
Yay!
So it basically covers, where So the train is called the Empire Builder. And it basically goes from the southeast corner to the northwest.
It actually goes all the way from New York to Seattle.
But we're just talking about riding it in Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. It follows Highway 2. So it goes, all the way up through North Dakota, Montana, and everything. Glacier, Montana, the northern part. Okay. Sorry.
But anyway, that's not what we're talking about. So anyway, the train runs from Detroit Lakes, comes down to St. Cloud, the Twin Cities, Red Wing. I love going to Red Wing. If you've never been to Red Wing, you got to go see it. There's so much to do down there. And then Winona. And the great thing is you can bring your bikes on these trains. You can travel in comfort, and they've got food cars. I used to take the train. I never told you this, but I went to college. I started my college career in Duluth, and I would take the train. I'd either take the bus or the train up to Duluth. I remember taking it when I was really young with friends. I don't know why my parents sent us off when we were like 12 years old, teenagers who were getting in trouble. But we used to take the train up to Duluth, which was kind of fun.
The Empire Builder doesn't go up that way. It follows 10.
No, the Empire Builder does not.
Yeah. And Red Wing is really cute. They have like the tiniest little depot. Honestly, it's the size of a gas station. Okay, it's so small. It does have bathrooms that are open, but there's a park right there as well, and you can walk around. It's downtown, and it's a cute little scenic area. You can also take the Empire Builder to Chicago, and it's pretty reasonable.
I imagine that you can. I didn't look into that because we're only doing Explore Minnesota right now. Okay, so another one, there's another railroad. There's the Northstar Scenic Railroad that starts in Duluth. And basically, there's an hour and a half Duluth Zephyr trip to Leicester River. There is a 2.5 hour pizza train, and there's also a Two Harbors excursion.
Wow.
And there's first class tickets and dinner train tickets. They are open seasonally from May to the end of October, and they're very reasonably priced. So if you wanted to hop on a train, okay, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. I think what would be really fun for me to do, because, it doesn't matter where you live, people don't actually tour their own cities, right? We go tour other places around the country, around the state, internationally, etc. But when was the last time you toured your own city? Here, you probably know more about Minneapolis and St. Paul than I do because I'm a native.
I tour the city a lot because there's people that come and visit me. I have family that comes and visits me, and actually, several people have named blisters on their feet after me.
Okay, that's just weird.
Because I make them walk so much. Like, you got to see this.
Here's another way of doing things. Touring the Twin Cities on the Green Line, which I think would be a super fun thing to see or do. Where did my thing just go?
I got it.
You can basically go from St. Paul to Minneapolis, and there's so many stops. You can see the Capitol. I lost something. You can go see the Capitol. You can go look at these different museums that we were talking about. That's what I wanted. Can you scroll through that a little bit?
Yeah, it has an odd transition there. I didn't know what it was.
It has a very odd transition. But I was just commenting on how beautiful that skyline is in downtown St. Paul. It's gorgeous. I want to get back to where I completely lost everything now. Sorry about this, folks. Anyway, you can go from Minneapolis to St. Paul. One of the things that would be fun to do is stopping along Snelling Avenue, going to the Turf Club, listening to some music. It goes to the different sports arenas, both in St. Paul, where you can go watch a Minnesota Saints baseball game, comes back to downtown Minneapolis, where you could watch a Twins game.
We And there is, on purpose, the new soccer stadium was built along the train because soccer people are notorious for taking trains to games, getting on and getting off. And they actually didn't put any, like, a lot of parking around it on
They
purpose.
didn't. They didn't
Hmm.
put a lot of parking around it. That's true. I do know that. Anyway, I think this would actually be something fun to do for me, is to actually go tour and get off on some of these stops. Now, when the light rail first did come to the Twin Cities, which I can't remember what it was, but I did take my son. We hopped on the train and went from downtown or wherever we hopped on. I think we went to the Mall of America, or as far as we could go on it.
Yeah, I went from downtown Minneapolis to the Mall of America. I used to work at the Mall of America and I took it when it first opened. And I was really excited about it because I could sell my car and I didn't have to worry about payments, gas, upkeep. I was like,
Nice.
that was it. I was city living.
City living by train. Okay, the last thing I wanted to talk about was the Greenway in Minneapolis. The old abandoned railroad lines that's now a 5.5 mile long corridor running. I'm not sure how far west it goes, but it goes quite far west of Minneapolis, and then runs through St. Paul and to Hiawatha, I believe. I don't know how far east it goes either.
Oh, it's doing that thing again where it doesn't let me connect. It goes really far. I mean, it connects, all the chain of lakes is connected
Yes,
to it. It can go, it goes really, really far, you guys.
and in
Minnehaha
Minneapolis
Falls.
area, yeah, Minneapolis area, it runs, along Lake Street, so you just hop on your bike, go
The
visit
Hudson
restaurants.
Depot is a hot spot for a lot of people to get off and grab refreshments or coffee. And before it connects to, there's another trail it connects to head off into Minnetonka.
Yeah, you're
There.
talking about the Coffee Depot in St. Louis Park along right by 169.
Mhm,
Yes, Coffee Depot, an original train depot. But
mhm.
anyway, that's all I've got, and we're
Oh,
running late.
that was
We're
a
running really
lot.
long.
You guys, there's so much to do. And if we haven't made you a foamer yet,
Yet,
then you should be, because there's so much train history and trains in Minnesota. So enjoy.
enjoy. Have
See
a great
you
day, everyone.
tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.